from one tribal county in one of the absolute worst places on the planet, the middle of the Sahara Desert, to becoming the most developed land in the entire world and unifying Africa, to building the strongest military in the world to take over Europe. We're getting crazy with it today. We're starting as Sheikh Sagada of Janet, owner of this one tribal county right smack dab in the middle of the Sahara Desert. As you can see here from this minus 50% development growth penalty, building up a nation in a desert is not the easiest thing to do. But I have a plan. You see, there's two cultural traditions in this game that increase development in a desert. The first is dryland dwellers, which grants a huge plus 35% development growth in deserts, and reduces building costs on top of that. It's a tradition that should be pretty easy for us to get once we're the head of our culture. The second one, however, is going to be a lot harder to obtain. Much further east we have the Persian culture here, with a tradition called irrigation experts. This tradition also grants a 35% development growth in deserts. Arguably just as important, it also gives you the ability to construct the Kanats building. This amazing building gives as much development as windmills do, but in the middle of a desert in 2 eras earlier. You can't just switch to the Persian culture and add this tradition, as they are incompatible with each other, but what you can do is merge a culture with dryland dwellers with one that has irrigation experts, as this bypasses the block. We're going to create the Great Emirate of Sahara, while also making the best desert culture possible. And once we make the Sahara the greatest place in the world by playing tall, we will then begin expanding. Fast. Hey guys, we're getting closer and closer to 10,000 subscribers, which is my current goal. And there's a special surprise waiting for you if we hit it from this video. If you've been enjoying the content so far, make sure to subscribe, and turn on that bell while you're at it. I really appreciate it, and let's get back to the video. Our character is pretty interesting since we're a part of the Buddha culture, which matches the people to our north, but we're the Mande religion, which matches the people to our south. I plan to convert to Buddhism, which is an Islamic faith when possible. As a tribal, recruiting and maintaining troops requires prestige instead of money, so my first step will be to use all our prestige to build up a military. Our culture gives us these special light cavalry units that are good in deserts, so I'll just purchase a few more to get up to 400 troops. Our character is a stewardship education, but I know the early game is going to be a lot of fighting, so I'm picking up a chivalry focus for the commander advantage. We got our 400 horses ready to go, so I'm going to declare war on our weaker neighbor. Well, we just got owned. Hopefully it was because of the defensive buildings, because we're about to fight them again. Oh hey, we're winning. Oh nice, we actually captured the enemy leader in that battle and won the war that honestly we probably would have lost. Now we have 2 counties. The control is low, which reduces money output, so I'll use my marshal to increase the control. In order to maintain this military, I'm losing prestige every month, so to get some prestige I'll have to raid my neighbors. Everyone around here is pretty poor. Probably has to do with the massive desert making it impossible to grow any food, so the actual raiding itself won't grant us much of anything. But what does get us a lot of prestige are the battles. If you set yourself to command the army and win the battles, it'll give you a big chunk of prestige. Another way to manage our prestige better is to construct some gathering halls, so using the prestige from the raiding, I'm building one in our capital. I didn't realize how easy it would be to convert, but right here you can see that it's only going to cost us 250 piety. So there we go, easy peasy. I want to fight this guy next to us for some land, but they have a stronger military than us. Luckily, I have some kids, so I'm marrying my daughter off to a nearby state that will hopefully be able to help us win some wars. I don't exactly have enough prestige to call in my ally, but having negative prestige doesn't really matter, so I can just do it anyways. I managed to beat the enemy without my ally, so I ended up just kind of wasting 150 prestige. Now there's a 3rd county. This one is cool since it has a special building that we'll be able to build later. Our truce with this guy has ended, so we can now go to war for his last county. We don't have the prestige to do it however, but the penalty here is only 66 fame, which is barely anything, so what's the harm? Our military is significantly stronger than his now, so I took the county super quick. Oh yeah, that special building is a mine that we can build later. We're at our domain limit, so to take any more land we'll have to create a duchy title, which we can do right away as we have enough money in the land to do so. This will also get us out of prestige debt, and with the territory we took, we're no longer losing prestige every month. The Kingdom of Sahara is actually pretty small. We only need to hold 8 counties to create it, and it's only 15 counties big in its entirety, so eventually we should be able to hold all of it ourselves. To hopefully be able to hold more land, I'm educating my son with a stewardship focus. You get another domain slot for every 6 stewardship skill points you have. If I swap my wife over to manage domain, it gives me just enough points for another domain slot. Our other truce ended, so I took the rest of this duchy, filling up that 5th slot. I have 2,000 troops now, so I can keep raiding. As you can see, winning these battles gives us some good prestige. I can also go on hunts for prestige, although it's kinda hard since we're in a desert. I raided for a bit until I finally lost a battle, but I was able to get over 1000 prestige before doing so. And right when my troops were ready to fight again, I continued to raid my neighbors. One feast later and I've reached 2600 prestige. But what for? Well, I want to create a new culture, one that I'll be able to fully control. I'm switching us over to a bureaucratic ethos for the development growth. I'm adding the Drylands Dweller tradition that I mentioned earlier for all the bonuses to desert holdings. And as such, the Saharan culture is born. It looks like only this one county converted automatically, so it does look like I'll need to manually convert our capital before it actually gets the bonuses. The first good thing about being the head of the culture, you get to pick what innovation you're researching. Research speed is also determined by the average development of all counties with your culture, so if we control each Saharan county, we also control the development and therefore the research speed. What comes next is kinda scary. To make our culture even better, we'll need to merge with a culture that has irrigation experts. And there's only 2 in the entire world. They're both all the way in Persia. To form a hybrid culture, we'll actually need to own some Persian land. We can't exactly just declare war on a nation over in Persia though, as they're way too far to interact with. We can't even interact with this guy who's not even halfway to Persia. We'll have to do a bit of a bunny hop to get in the range. This little guy here is in the Kingdom of Sahara anyways, so we might as well start there. We'll be outnumbered by his allies, but if I can take the county before they arrive, then I'll win without having to fight them. It's a risk I'm willing to take. As expected, I was able to take the county before having to face the full force of our enemy, and won the war instantly. We do have to give away the land to a vassal, but that's not a big deal. Next, there's this small 1 county place here with 188 troops, which I think I can beat. Travel through Africa actually takes forever, so my troops are just on their jolly way. After like a year, I finally made my way to the enemy to take their land. And of course, peasants are invading now. It would actually take me an entire year to reach these peasants, but what I can do is buy some mercenaries, as they instantly appear at your rally point. Good old-fashioned teleportation. We've unlocked our first dynasty legacy, and as always I'm going down the erudition tree first to get the plus 20% development growth. Now the next state we can take to get ever so closer to Persia is this one in Arabia. Yeah, we're cooked. If we take this county in Arabia, we technically won't need this one. Oh no, we're losing the battle for that county in Arabia. My troops didn't have enough supplies as they had to go through the desert to arrive. They also killed my son, so my new heir is my baby grandson. Oh, they're obliterating me again. Well, we lost our aggressive war. And now that my military is destroyed, there's no chance I can stand up against these guys taking a county from me. So I'm just surrendering it so I can disband my army and regain strength. Maybe all I need to do is construct some buildings to increase my troop and knight stats. Maybe it'll make me feel better too. This was a setback, but it won't stop me from trying again. I took this county here to reach Eastern Africa. I can now go to war with these weaker guys. I won the war easily. We're going back to Arabia, and hopefully this time it'll go better. They're hiding in the mountains, and I'm not so sure if we can win that. I'm using our extra money to buy some mercenaries to send over and hopefully win the battle. We have everyone ready to fight. The game still thinks we will lose, but I think we're fine. Oh nice, we won the battle. Sieging took absolutely forever because we have no siege units unlocked yet, but we were still able to win. There's no reason to wait, so let's go ahead and take a Persian county. I sailed my way over and prepared to invade. I took the capital, and that was enough to win the war. It was as easy as that. We have this county here with the Persian culture, and so I'm going to start promoting cultural acceptance. To form a hybrid culture, we need 40 cultural acceptance. To increase acceptance even quicker, I can also grant the land to a local Persian. Oh look at that, the beautiful Kanats building that I just can't wait to unlock. For every piece of land we don't need, I'll be granting to Persians to continue to improve our cultural acceptance until we can make that hybrid culture. So I'm looking here at the requirements to get out of the tribal era and become a clan. And once I merge with the Persian culture, the only one I'll be missing is this requirement here that requires you to have absolute tribal authority. I'll just need to keep getting prestige to increase this all the way to the max of level 4. Oops, we died. And now we're a 14-year-old boy. Funnily enough, we can now create the Kingdom of Sahara, even though we only have 6 counties, as our legitimacy went up, requiring a lower percent of the territory. I was doing some raiding when these meanie faces declared war on me. They want to take this county in Arabia from us. Of course, because we were raiding, we'll have to march our troops over, which is gonna take us a long 20 months. While our troops moved over, our regent actually increased our tribal authority for us, so that was nice. We're also now an adult, and we're stupid apparently, with a level 1 education trait. Whatever. I'm going into the military tree anyway so that I can take all of the Sahara. Oh, damn. The enemy got some allies to come kick our ass. We're about to lose anyways, so I'm just gonna go ahead and surrender. This county doesn't really matter since we already have the Persian one. Now back home, there's this guy here who owns the northern part of the Sahara, and he's actually decently close to accepting vassalization. We might be able to integrate him for free later. Fuck. These guys are going after my county in Persia. I'm upgrading my troops as much as I can in preparation. They are this weak one county state, but their allies are really strong. If we can make this quick and win right away, we might be able to pull this off. I also have a bit of money for mercenaries that might help. We've almost taken the castle, but there's a huge army coming for me. Oh, come on, come on, come on. We're so close, we're so close. Shit. They've caught us. Yeah, we're losing this war, guys. We're gonna need to get a Persian county once again. Well, it's time to hop back over again. At least there's some good news. This guy here will accept vassalization now, which has increased our realm size by quite a bit. I've skipped the hopping over part, but I'm once again going to war with a small Persian state. And we've gotten it. 11% acceptance. We need to get it to 40. While we wait for that, let's get the rest of the Sahara. Tebesti has this one county here we can take. That was easy. The only counties left to take are owned by our southern neighbor Khanim, so for now, they are our rival. They don't have a very big military, so let's take this duchy from them. We don't have enough prestige, but also I don't really care about the fame penalty, so I'm doing it anyways. They're kind of just waiting in the mountains. They must have gotten bored since they kind of just decided to attack. And the mountains made it an easy victory for us. And the war is won. There's only one more county in the Sahara Kingdom that we need to get, so we just need to wait for the truce to end. I can bring us up to high tribal authority, then in 10 years we can get up to absolute tribal authority. We're up to 21% acceptance with the Persians, so it'll probably be another 20 years before we can merge. The last county we need has decided to join a confederation, so it might be a little harder to take now. When we die, our player heir should be better than us, as they got a level 3 education, and they have the amazing personality trait of temperate, which increases stewardship, gives a health bonus, and on top of that is considered virtuous. With what we got going on right now, succession is gonna be a mess, and I'm just going to ignore it. We're up to 34%. I'm not sure when, but I gained an extra max holding slot, so I fabricated a claim on God. This lets us take this county from our vassal with no penalty. In this case, he'll just give it to us, no questions asked, so now we have another county. This county does have a lot of extra holdings, so that's pretty cool. We're so close, it's at 39%. You've got to be kidding me. We're actually so close. These guys want our Persian county, so I'm really worried about that. Our military is better than last time, and you know what? While we're at it, I'm just gonna buy some more men-at-arms. I can call on my ally, which might help, who knows. We just need to hold on until the end of the year. I started raising my army, and as I was doing that, as you can see here, the enemy decided to come and attack very quickly. I'm buying these mercenaries. I love money. Nope, we still lost. I can just regroup and raise my entire army this time. Yes, okay. We won a battle. Wait, we can actually do this. It's at 40%. Oh, crap. We need more prestige to create the culture. I held a feast, and luckily we didn't lose the war in that time, and now I should have enough. I'm adding irrigation experts, of course, as that was the entire plan. But I'm also adding Beacon of Learning for the cultural fascination progress from the scholar trait and the learning lifestyle experience. I also added Garden Architects, which lets you hire someone to increase development growth in your capital. And, you know, I love development, so that sounds great to me. We also get a free 5 technologies as a nice bonus. With the techs, we can adopt clanways, but first we just need to quickly increase our crown authority. Ah, never mind. I also need 200 prestige, of course. There we go. We can now become a clan government, which will mark the start of our progression to the most developed land in the world. Our military now costs gold, but luckily for us, we have a big enough country to sustain it just fine. And now we can upgrade it by adding siege units, finally. All of our tribal buildings get automatically converted to castles and castle buildings. In our capital we got towers, kanats, look at that beautiful development growth, and some cows. Our military doesn't matter a ton anymore, so I'm replacing the towers for the desert agriculture building, which is essentially the farms and fields equivalent of the desert. I'm looking here to try to build a city or temple for some extra money and development, but it's not allowing me to do so. We have the city planning innovation, so that's not the issue here. I'll try to figure out what's going on later, but for now, let's complete the Kingdom of Sahara. We just need this one county. I'm taking their land while they siege my land, although I have siege units and they don't, so I should have the advantage. They're finally coming over to fight us, but they have more troops, so I'm buying some mercenaries. They didn't join the fight all at once and instead trickled in, giving us a powerful victory. There we go, there's the Sahara united. Now I just need to upgrade our buildings whenever possible so that we can be rich. So I looked it up, and you're unable to build new holdings in the Sahara Desert. You got to be kidding me.
I don't like sand.
In 7 years, we'll unlock battlements and we'll be able to upgrade our castles. That mine I mentioned earlier can be built now, and it gives us some good gold and some development growth. So apparently the only way to get cities is through the royal court decisions. If you're lucky, someone will ask you to build a city, and that bypasses the restrictions. Well, I didn't get the decision this time, but maybe one day I will. We're still not making an insane amount of money, but it's definitely getting up there slowly but surely. I'm also converting our counties to our culture so that when I unlock the innovations, I'll actually be able to use them. We've unlocked battlements! We're not rich by any metric, so we can't just upgrade all our castles right away. But once we get the money, the option is there. I've just unlocked the 3rd Dynasty Legacy, so we now have treasured knowledge and a 20% development growth bonus. We're getting old, and I have to say, our player heir sucks. Our land will also be split up. This son is better, so I'd rather play as him. Our succession as a clan is based on our house's unity. We have a friendly house unity, which makes our succession like the high partition succession law, where our heir gets half the titles and the rest is distributed to our other kids. If we get our unity up, succession will give even more titles to our heir. There's a bunch of actions that increase and decrease unity, but in general, higher unity comes from doing nice things for your family members. The county with the mine was converted to our culture, so I get another building slot, and more importantly, canats. Another cool thing is that in the Oasis biome, which we have a few of, you can build orchids, which also grant a bit of development growth. It's actually the same stats as a trade port, I believe. Let's also upgrade our capital's castle while we're at it. We are really close to dying, so I need to handle my succession now. I think this is the reason my channel has called me infamous. I'm throwing my oldest son in prison. There's only one true way to fix succession. This certainly doesn't help house unity, but less sons does mean less division. Our new oldest son might be mad that I killed his brother, but clearly he's not mad enough to have less than 100 opinion of me. Obviously we're about to die, but I have this legitimizing legend here, what I consider to be the best kind of legend. It'll disappear when we die unless we start it now, so I'm starting it even though I really don't want to pay for it. We're literally 1 unity point away from harmonious succession. I'm gonna grant this county to my player heir. I mean, I'll get it back right away once I die, so it doesn't really matter. And yep, that worked. We now have the harmonious succession law. We'll only lose 1 county to our brother now. Just in time, too. The first thing I can do is complete the legend that my father started, which gives us the ability to add this beautiful building to one of our holdings, and I'm gonna go with my capital. Look at this building, plus 10% holding taxes, plus 15% dev growth. On top of that, we also get an extra 10% lifestyle experience. I'll have to save up for it, but our building cost bonus is lower to 900, which isn't too bad. Here we go, enough money for the palace. I think it's finally time to get rid of our territory outside of the Sahara. I'm giving these vassals their independence. I mean, they really weren't contributing anything to us anyways, so it's fine. I fabricated a claim on the land we lost when our father died, and revoked the title. We have to fight them for it this time. They were weak, so it was easy. We're now holding 8 domains ourselves and are making 15 gold a profit a month. The cool thing here that I noticed is that with level 2 castles, we can keep upgrading our canats. So here in our capital, I'm upgrading it to level 4. Our player heir is quick, while our second son is intelligent. So let's kill our heir. I realize that this is 2 generations in a row where I've killed my oldest son. It's becoming a bit of a family tradition. The development in our capital is at 14, and is increasing at a decent pace. We have quite a few bonuses, but of course this list will get longer and longer as the game goes on. I'm continuing to convert counties into our culture, mostly by having our vassals do it for us. Once they convert, I can build the economic buildings, making us stronger. I prefer to be able to increase development, but promoting our culture is more important at the moment. We just got the divided attention perk, which gives us 2 holding slots, which is great. I'm taking more of our vassals' land to fill these slots to hold 11 holdings ourselves. I'm technically holding too many duchy titles, but holding extra duchies only makes your vassals dislike you, and nothing else. So it's actually good for money reasons, as it lets you hold more duchy capitals with their duchy buildings. Now that we've died, our land is passed on to our 11-year-old son. He's got some great traits and is intelligent, so we should be pretty good ruler once he comes of age. Unfortunately, I do have to get rid of some castles that I'll have to reclaim later. I'm continuing to marry smart people for their genes.
Word of the day.
Eugenics!
There's 6 total duchies in the Kingdom of Sahara, and I plan to create all of them and hold them all myself. We've become an adult and we get the level 3 stewardship education, which isn't bad. With a wife set to manage domain, it brings us up to 9 holding slots. Now that we're making decent money, we can start going to university. University made us super stressed out, but it also got us the highest level stewardship education, which even increases learning experience, and obviously it gives us a ton of stewardship points. We still haven't fully converted our land, so I'm getting our vassals to do it for me still. If you look at the map, we look huge, but really it's just 15 counties that don't even have cities and temples. I unlocked the architect trait, which is the last stewardship skill we need. The other ones being divided attention mentioned earlier and centralization, which gives dev growth in the capital. We can now switch over to the learning tree, and the scholarship focus, which grants 15% development growth. The best part of this tree is the first perk, which will help us research new techs quicker. While taking my vassal's land that I gave away earlier, I unlocked manorialism. We can now upgrade our economic buildings to level 4. We can also build a duchy building. My favorite building is the royal reserves, but we can't build that here. Instead, I'll be getting the tax offices, which grant a bonus to taxes in the entire duchy. This is why we want to hold all the duchy titles. Duchy buildings are awesome, and only work if you have the title. We'll go for bailiffs next to get another building slot. I realized that we had an extra tradition slot for our culture, so I did some feasts and hunts to get enough prestige for another tradition. Since we're in the Sahara, we can get this mountain herding tradition that gives bonuses in desert mountains. And we do have a couple counties with them, so I might as well pick this up. Our culture isn't too big, so it'll only take 9 years to come into effect. For the next few decades, I'll just be waiting to get money, then upgrading all the buildings I can. I've finally decided to create the rest of the duchy titles in the Sahara. Our vassals would definitely hate us for this, but luckily, I'm way stronger than them. We're up to 30 gold per month. I've just unlocked the scholar trait, which grants development growth. Because of our culture, it also increases cultural fascination progress and increases taxes in deserts. And our religion considers it virtuous, so really it's the perfect trait for what we got set up. Most of the Sahara is of our culture, so I just need our vassals to work a little harder for us to finish that off. Bailiffs! As if we needed more buildings to construct right now. Of course I'm going to. I think hospices will be good to build now, although there isn't really much disease in the desert. We are getting the development up high now, with our capital being at 33, so diseases might come at some point. The game wants us to be a conqueror, but I'm gonna politely decline. We just have so many buildings to upgrade, and it's making our economy boom. I decided to go ahead and also get whole of body so that I can live for a long time. But now I'm switching over to the wandering lifestyle. There's some cool perks in the inspector tree. Hey, look at that. We're making 69 gold per month of profit.
Nice.
The inspection perk gives plus 10% domain taxes and gives you an activity that can be used for development or taxes. And the personal touch perk down here gives you another domain. Oh, and the final perk increases development. So in what world would we not want that? You see that? 100 gold per month. We've scaled really well and we're making tons of money now. Wait, I still have the county in Persia? I had no idea, to be honest with you. I feel like I gave them independence, but I don't know. I mean, I still have them apparently. Well, here's your freedom. I know you'll just get immediately conquered, so good luck. I've maxed out some of my domains and the rest will be there soon. Well, maxed out until the next era that'll come in a few years. Inspector perk. I love me some development. I haven't mentioned the military in a while, but I unlocked mangonels, and we can now have 800 troops per slot. We're almost at 50 development. We're clearly the most developed place in Africa. We're beating Iberia. We're only 3 behind the Pope actually. Oh damn, Constantinople is further behind than usual. We've actually made the Sahara more developed than the Byzantine Empire. I reached the highest crown authority, which means I can choose my heir now, which is pretty cool. To make your heirs the best they can be, make sure to always have a tutor educating the children in your court. Once they turn 16, you can also make them your physician and teach them to increase their learning and health stats. And we're dead. Although, we're already old, which means we won't be on this character for long. Our heir is our brother, but I'd much rather have the crown passed to my only child and daughter. I'll need to switch over to a male preference from male only. This guy doesn't like me and opposes switching the nation to male preference, so I'll just take his land. Now we can switch over to male preference. And look at that, a new heir. A city! We finally got a court decision allowing us to create a city in one of our holdings, and it's picked one in our capital. Like I mentioned earlier, this is the only way for us to build holdings in the desert. In 15 months, we'll have our first city here. Just in time once again. We're now playing as our genius daughter. Remember to always marry a good steward, because it can increase your domain limit like crazy as seen here. Also, even though we're 23 without the +2 domain perk, we already have 12 holding slots. We're now in the high medieval period, and I'm going for the windmills innovation first. It's going pretty fast with our high learning and development. The city finished constructing, and we can add the guilds building for dev growth, which is the reason cities are cool. The development bonus applies to the entire county, not just the city. I took our vassal's land, and we now control the entire Sahara. We only have 14 holding slots though, so I'll have to give one up. We've unlocked windmills! The windmill is like the best building ever. Okay. So it looks like we can't build the windmills here. I didn't realize that. We should have went for guilds first. I bet we can build the caravanserai, which has similar stats to the windmill. At least we have an extra building slot we can make use of. I'm building some blacksmiths for the % gold they give, which should be pretty good. We have enough money to upgrade all these new buildings as soon as possible. Our capital now has 55 development, which is better than Rome. We also still have better development than Constantinople, though normally that would be way higher at this point in the game, so they must be slacking over there. We reached 15 holding slots, which means I can take this last county to control the entire country ourselves. This means that we're getting 100% of the money and levies from the entire kingdom. I almost forgot about this, but in our court we might as well get the max amenities. Since we have an administrative court, level 7 court grandeur gives some development growth in our capital. We got ourselves to guilds innovation. The next innovation we're going for is hoardings, which adds level 3 castles. It'll only take us 8 years. That development is really getting up there. We can now build caravanserai, which aren't as good as windmills, but they are still pretty good. I'm building them in literally every county we can. Every era you get a new cultural tradition slot, which I keep mentioning, but just thought I'd say it again. So I got a bunch of prestige saved up to pick one out. I'm going with By the Sword. It removes the one kingdom holy war per lifetime limit, so we'll be able to declare a bunch of holy wars. I don't plan on using this right away, but when the time is right, the world will know the power of the Sahara. I'm leveling up our final buildings to the current max. It's no longer the current max, however, since we just unlocked level 3 castles. Once we get level 3 castles, we can upgrade all of our economic buildings as well. The next tech we go for doesn't really matter all that much, as we have all the economic ones we need. We're up to over 250 gold a profit, so things are definitely looking up for the Kingdom of Sahara. We are low on gold, but every time I get enough gold to upgrade a building, I'm doing just that. Our capital is now maxed out, but our other counties are still getting improved. I got the upgraded military innovations. Instead of mangonels, we can get trebuchets. We can also increase the size of each stack to 12. Isn't it kind of funny that we're out of money while making 350 gold per month? We're rich because pretty much every building is fully maxed out, except for some hospices. We've been following this faith for a while, but I don't think it fully fits our Saharan culture. I'm giving us the divination tenet, as our people look longingly into the stars, as that's all there is. I'm also adding Islamic rationalism, which increases learning experience and makes scholar a virtue. This new religion will be all about learning and progression. I'm also making witches virtuous for fun. Having a new religion will let us declare holy wars on more people, so it's a good thing to do as long as you're strong enough to deal with your neighbors who may not like your new religion. I just unlocked the last innovation in the high medieval period. We're like way ahead of everyone else in the world. It's probably because our development is insane now. Our capital is at 99. Nope, it's at 100. So we're obviously the most developed in the world. All of our buildings are maxed out. We're making 400 gold per month. Things are looking good in the Sahara Desert. We can't enter the next era until 1200, which means there will be no more progress for 80 years. But my leader looked into the stars and was given a quest. The stars spoke of united Africa to dominate the world. We will start by declaring a holy war for the Kingdom of Egypt. They only have this stack of 2,000 troops, but we're about to siege their capital and win without even fighting them. I'll give Egypt to our son. Since it was a holy war, we got all the counties to give away directly. That was all to the east. Now let's go to war with the west. Another easy victory. We've died, but the dream of a united Africa was passed on from mother to daughter. I'm in another war, and the supply limits are rough, and it's costing us dearly. I regrouped and got supplies, and they started a battle that I was just barely able to win. Look how many stacks of troops I have to deal with. I was able to win the war with no more issues after that. I just won another war, and we can now create our first empire title. This means we can now divvy up our land into kingdoms that we can grant to vassals and to our family members without them gaining independence. We currently control most of northern Africa. This isn't important to us, but over in Iberia, the Al-Andalus control most of it, except for some reason they're Catholic now, which is pretty weird. Here's our updated military. Various troops and 2 sets of trebuchets. Look at that, 100,000 gold achieved.
Hello, I like money.
We've been steadily conquering, and the only thing slowing us down are the uprisings. None of them have been particularly hard yet, but they do slow me down. I've been conquering the eastern side of Africa, and we just have these few nations down here left to conquer in this section. I'm at the 5th dynasty legacy in the kin tree, and it was specifically because I wanted this last one, graceful aging. Instead of losing prowess in your old age, you actually gain skill points instead, which I mean, is just incredible. There's only really this place on the eastern half of Africa left, but we have a truce with them, so let's move our eyes westward. I'm just using our men-at-arms to destroy the significantly outmatched opposition. They had slightly more troops than us, but we still stack-wiped their army. Taking land from smaller countries one at a time takes forever, so I just declare war on a bunch of small places at once to make it quicker. I mean, like, we control pretty much all of Africa, but not all just yet. These smaller nations are really making it hard, but we're getting there. I'm doing hunts and feasts to get enough prestige to declare war here. Their religion is the same kind of Islam as us, so we can't just wage holy wars against them. While at war, sometimes a rebellion will start with a million little armies looking like this. Because it's a peasant uprising, I have to kill every single peasant army stack. Mercenaries are always a big help to give us more armies that can spread out to hunt down the peasants. There we go, another uprising put down. The Sahara is looking like this after 50 years of conquest. We own most of Africa, but the small nations take the longest to conquer. We're definitely rich, so money does not concern me anymore. I completed a holy legend, which gave me a legendary shrine building. The shrine lets you live 5 years longer, which is just absolutely nuts, and can be abused like crazy if you build enough of them. Just think, if all 15 of our holdings had a shrine, that would be an extra 75 years to our character's life. The legend also gives us this decision to convert a bunch of people to our religion. We're really getting down to the last few counties in Africa. Confederations suck because I can't go to war with each county at once, and instead I have to go for them individually, one at a time. I now control all of Africa. Well, except for this tiny little part that the Arabian Empire holds. They're actually pretty strong, so I am a bit worried, but I'm going for it anyways. They have a ton of troops in Egypt taking my land as I take their counties in Africa. To win the war, I'll have to meet them on the battlefield, so I'm marching over with almost 90,000 men. Actually, they're coming to me. I'm trying to build up supplies before attacking. They're gonna attack me though. We won the first battle of the war. The war goal includes land up here, so I'm really struggling to hold the whole war goal as the land is so far apart. Another battle is coming, but they have way more troops than me. Oh shit, this is not looking good. I'm gonna attempt to buy all these mercenaries and try again, but because we live in the Sahara, the amount of mercenaries to pick from is really limited. Yeah, that did not work. We're cooked. They beat us one more time to win the war and stop our expansion. It feels kind of embarrassing that we have all of Africa and still lost the war. I clearly have enough money, so I'm gonna start switching a few of my counties to military buildings. Like here, I'm gonna make the best heavy cavalry possible. It's the year 1200 and the late medieval period has been unlocked, and we'll enter it in 19 months. So I've completely redone our military. I'm getting a bunch of heavy cavalry units instead of diversifying, as I think this will make our military stronger. In my desert mountain counties, I can build blacksmiths, stables, and hillside grazing lands, which all increase heavy cavalry stats. These horses are going to be strong. We've made it to the late medieval. I'm going to get standing armies first to get some insane stack of troops. Oh, and since it's a new era, we have a new tradition slot, and I'm getting desert ribots. Not because it's the best for us, but because it makes us the undeniable best desert culture. We just unlocked standing armies. We can research a new tech in just 3 to 4 years, which is crazy. We'll get bombards next for the amazing siege potential. I'm going back to war with the Arabian Empire. I certainly hope my military is strong enough now. I have my 7,000 men-at-arms that's about to be attacked by their 70,000 men. Damn, we lost the fight. Now our 7,000 men-at-arms are up against 82,000 men. We lost again, but it's getting closer, and I think we're killing more than we're losing. But it looks like we beat them up, so we take it. I'm pretty sure the difference is that we fought on flat ground, where our heavy cavalry can thrive, instead of the mountains where they have a penalty. This time they're getting off a boat to attack. This could be huge. Oh my god, yeah, that was huge. These heavy cavalry are really putting in the work. Look at how strong they get when I boost their stats. 277 damage. They stand no chance against me now. My men-at-arms can destroy their entire army. We won! And there you have it, a united Africa. The dream has been completed. I got myself some Bards, so I'm ready to take Europe. Let's start with Sicily, which is owned by the Byzantines. Should be easy enough. Yeah, it is easy enough. We're demolishing them. Europe is done for. The rest of Sicily is mine now. I unlocked level 4 castles, so I'm upgrading all of them with our insane amount of money. Although, to be honest, I mean, we really don't need any more money, so upgrading them doesn't matter that much. France is looking fun. Let's take the Kingdom of Burgundy from them. They're in a lot of debt, so I don't think this is gonna help. Yoink. I don't know who's fighting who here, but I'm joining the fight to kill everyone. Lotharingia was also easy to take. We have a very large peasant uprising planning to rebel, but I have the decision to evangelize to the realm from completing a holy legend, which should stop the peasants from being angry at me. I think it's finally time we took the Pope's land. It's only going to take 2 months to take Rome. That was so easy. So in 9 months, 250,000 men are going to try to take Romagna from us. That's going to be tough. I already have peasants rebelling, and now I have to deal with a crusade. There are a lot of attackers. I have my men-at-arms here ready to start attacking the Crusaders. I don't have much hope in my army, but I just gotta go for it. I'm trying to attack each army separately as they come off the boat. The main force is arriving now. They're actually trying to gather in Rome, but I own it, so it's pretty funny. I'm winning? Nope, I'm losing now. And now we have some more rebels. I don't think we'll be able to survive against this crusade. Oh my god, there's so many peasants. I'm gonna have to surrender to the Crusaders. Although, you know me, I'll probably just take it back for myself later. The peasants were dealt with shortly-ish afterwards. Jerusalem was independent, so I took it for the Saharans. I'm now taking northern Italy. It's not even close. We stack wiped their entire army. I have the ability to upgrade all our economic buildings, but it absolutely does not matter. I mean, look at that. You know who's been independent for far too long? France. Yeah, that was easy. It seems like as long as every single country in Europe isn't after me, everyone's screwed. Back home, we have 100 development in almost all our counties. 92 is considered low for me. I've been replacing some economic buildings for military buildings to make our heavy cavalry even stronger. Stables are great for this. Our high development makes it only take a couple months to upgrade a building. The Arabian Empire caused us a lot of trouble in the past, so I think it's time to crush them by taking their homeland. 7,000 versus 60,000. Who wins? The 7,000, of course, and is not even close. That wasn't that easy. I wonder if the British can stop us invading as we sail to their capital. They cannot. Even when getting off a boat, my horses are too strong. Oh, England. Welcome to the Saharan Empire. The only powerful nation I haven't defeated yet are the Al-Andalus. They stood no chance. I've done it. 100 development in every single county. Even the desert mountains are super developed. I think I'm happy with this end. The strongest empire in the world by far. The richest by far. The biggest military by far. We're even the most famous dynasty in the world. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe. And right here you can see me do some other crazy shenanigans. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment maybe, and like the video.